pretty much our entire team pursuit and just national team when we landed in Paris got food poisoning from undercooked chicken. So
Stop.
until the day before the team pursuit, we didn't even know if we were going to line up.
That's like,
and we didn't
from the Olympic Village.
Yeah, we were in a hotel.
Chicken poisoning.
Yeah, we were in a hotel
man.
because our venue was too far from the village. So
Was
we were in a hotel.
Any other teams there? Any other athletes there?
Us in New Zealand, and they flew in after us. So I think, but it presented really weird because.
Hey,
hello.
We're here with special guest Maggie Coles Lester today. Super excited that you're joining us today, Maggie. I think we were all kind of super stoked to see your recent results at TDU and the one day, and we were like, hey, we should reach out to Maggie. So we're super happy you made some time for us. I know you're probably really busy on the road right now. Where are you at the moment?
No, yeah. Hey, thanks for having me. Where am I? I'm in Girona right now. It's actually like I have a couple weeks chill before opening weekend for the classics, but the past month was a busy one on the road. But start off the year with a month of racing and then get a couple weeks chill. But yeah.
So before we talk about your amazing standout comeback year from recent things, let's kind of take it back a bit and for our listeners talk about like how you got on the bike in the first place. Was it influence in your family, or obviously you're from Canada, was it people around you that got you on the bike, or talk us through that?
Yeah, so it was, kind of around me, but also very unconventional because everyone in Canada grows up playing hockey or, something like that. Bikes are just not even an afterthought. But my dad owned a bike store, and my parents actually, before I was born, they had an adventure tour business and would take mountain bike tours all around North America. So they were like just kind of in that world, had the bike shop when I was young. And ever since I was maybe 6 years old, my dad had a team out of that shop and would go support them at races. And I just would not let him leave for a race without me. It'd be 6 a.m. and I'd be ready to go at 6 or 7 years old, be like, yeah, I'm coming to the feed zone, coming to help out.
That.
And
that's so
just
cool.
Super keen on it. I don't know what it was that drew me to it. But then the community he built out of that shop just really I was so young at the time. And so they would just they would all race, and then they would come and drink beer at the shop and play hide and go seek with me.
This is great. How do I do this?
Exactly. It was such a fun group to grow up in. And eventually he kind of built the team to be a road program for our track team pursuit medalists from London. And so they raced. Insane. Yeah. So that was the role models I grew up with. And I was like, yeah, I want to be like you when I grow up. This is super
that's
cool.
great.
Does this mean you're a pro mechanic with everything as well?
Oh, no.
Of course not.
When your dad has a bike shop, you just get to drop your stuff
opposite.
off. It's a complete opposite. I had no interest in that side of it. I was like, here's my bike.
Thanks.
Do what you need to do. I'll be back tomorrow.
Yeah. That's amazing that would you say your dad pretty much built the community aspect of bikes where you live then? That's pretty special.
Yeah, I would say in the town, we're just outside of Vancouver. So definitely in the town I grew up in, he did. And then he also, and still does, put on races there. So he's huge in the community, the cycling community there and in Vancouver.
That's so cool. Did you, when was the moment that you decided I want to make this a career? Or was that as soon as you started with the bike thing, that was always your ambition?
So I say pretty much since I was 8 years old, I was like, I want to go to the Olympics and win a medal. That was I was just, competitive. I wanted that. I saw those kind of people around me. And so I really, really wanted that. From a career point of view, that was more the dream side. And then I would say the career side didn't really come until the past 5 or 6 years until women actually started making money on it. I always had a backup plan or always had school ambitions as well. And I was talking to someone about this recently. I think like cycling was always this kind of dream with the Olympic cycles. I would do it until probably my late 20s, which we're pretty much there now. And then like probably have to go get a real job. Like that was always just kind of what was in my head. And yeah, really not until the past, like probably moving back over to Europe and having like a more stable salary and seeing women have like maternity leave offered with teams and all of that, and women racing until they're almost 40. Then I'm like, well, okay, I guess my plans are shifting. Like maybe I don't want to go to vet school and stuff like that in the next couple of years. And maybe I can just keep racing because I love the lifestyle. So yeah, that's been pretty recent, I'd say.
Yeah, it's amazing. That's what's so great to hear, you know, seeing as you've been on the Peloton as well, seeing how much it's developed and how much opportunity is being offered. And obviously you are very talented in multi-disciplines. Obviously you're on human powered health but you still do all the track events. So how do you juggle that in your season out of interest? Because I just feel like you guys never have a break.
Yeah, pretty much. And it's fun because they love to change the track seasons constantly. And BCI loves to throw some World Cups here in the winter, in the spring, during the classics. So, I mean, you always have to be a bit flexible. I honestly, juggling the two has been difficult. Like from a personal standpoint, I love it. I love going between the track world and the road world, and it kind of keeps everything fresh. And the track is just so fun. Like I love the racing, and the scene is just like a one big party all the time. I think it's super cool. So and then the road scene is more the kind of serious, locked in side of it. But yeah, road teams don't love riders racing track because it takes them out of the track season. I think they love the
what comes
they love
with
track
the
riders
and yeah.
They love track riders because if you look at pretty much all the sprinters do track. But there's often just conflicts with the track seasons, and obviously, especially once it's like team pursuit, there's a lot of track camps involved, and coming from Canada, that's really difficult because all our camps are back there.
Of course.
So the balance I've found really tough to kind of nail that. But I think like when I can focus more just on bunch racing, I can kind of do it a bit more on my terms and just focus on Omnium, which is kind of my plan heading into LA. So I think it'll get easier over the next few years.
That's so exciting. Talking about the Olympic cycle, you were at the Olympics when it was the COVID year, right?
No, Paris was my first.
Paris was your first? Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, talk to us about your experience at Paris, because the Tour is right by the Tour de Femme, which you did as well, right?
Yes. Yes. That was a week. The whole week was just a week. So my first Olympics, my first Tour de France Femme, I mean, like there's a whole story that goes with that week because our team pursuit. So I raced team pursuit, Omnium, and Madison there, which was crazy. But my priority was team pursuit and Omnium. Madison was kind of we need the points. We need you guys to start. So we did that. But pretty much our entire team pursuit and just national team, when we landed in Paris, got food poisoning from undercooked chicken. So until the day before the team pursuit, we didn't even know if we were going to line up.
That's like,
and we didn't
wait from the Olympic Village.
Yeah, we were in a hotel.
Chicken poisoning.
Yeah, we were in a hotel because our venue was too far from the village. So we were in a hotel.
Any other teams there? Any other athletes there?
Us in New Zealand, and they flew in after us. So but it presented really weird because I think it was the first day we were there. I luckily didn't get sick, but it was like one day someone would get sick, the next day someone else would get sick, and so this bacteria from the chicken was like catching up to people at different rates. So it looked like something was going through the hotel, spreading. So we were all on quarantine. Like it was just, what happens in sport, but also not what you imagine your first week at the Olympics is going to be like. And then we were all on antibiotics, like preventative antibiotics leading into the games because everyone was freaking out about it, obviously. So that was like, the start of the week, and we raced, and they added 2 or 3 extra laps onto our team pursuit. They messed up our lap count.
I remember that. Oh my God, yeah.
just 2 or 3 extra laps.
Just 2 or 3 extra laps. I remember looking up and I was like, I swear we should be done by now.
You have it so dialed too. Like, and your coach is giving you the splits. Like, exactly, you're on a schedule. And so those 2 or 3 extra laps are just...
And you're dead by that last lap. And
I was gonna say,
doing 2 or more.
For the listeners, like, maybe explain because you say like 2 or 3 extra laps, but that effort for you guys is horrendous, right?
Oh, it's horrible. So to backtrack, the team pursuit 16 lap race. 4 kilometers. We have 4 riders. And by the end of that one, I think we had 3. So you can get rid of, you have to finish with 3 riders. So we start with 4. And so basically you use everybody to their max, like everything they have, empty the tank by the time you get to that lap 16. And so everyone's dead. And then we looked up and we still had 2 laps or 500 meters to go, which at that point in the race is massive. Like, you have nothing left. You're completely lactic. Like,
that's crazy.
You're ready to, usually you have to be carried off the bike. So to do an extra 2 laps at the end of that is just crazy.
What was the other team on the track? Did they have to do 2 more laps too?
No, this was our qualifier, so I think it was just us on the track.
Okay.
If memory serves. I don't know. I don't have much memory after that.
But how did they get it? Someone just can't count.
Like, someone just can't count. Whoever was running the lap board just can't count. Like, you think the Olympics is sorted and it should be good, but no.
This is crazy. How did they respond again? I can't even remember. I remember watching it and being like, what the hell?
There wasn't really much of a big deal made out of it, which was really weird. Yeah. Like, I remember a few people commenting on it. I don't think like the Olympic organization really said anything. It was just like, whoopsies. But I mean, when you're doing 3 team pursuits in 2 days or 3 days, I think we did it over 3 days. Yeah. That's still a lot. Like, that's a really, really big effort.
Yeah.
To add on to another big effort. And then
that's crazy.
2 more times in the next 2 days. So going from, especially since half our team was recovering from food poisoning.
Yeah. You're like, Olympics can do one.
I'm like, oh my gosh. I was like, we've only been here, 5 or 6 days, and it felt like such a long week already.
Oh no.
But
And then how long was it before that you then had to fly to do the tour? Did you drive to the first stage from where you were?
Yeah. So the last day of the Olympics, I raced the Omnium. And then 15 minutes after racing the Omnium, my team director was there with the car and packed me up in the car and drove me 6 hours to Rotterdam. I think we started Rotterdam.
And then it was the next day.
And it was the next morning.
But then didn't you get a top 10?
On stage 2.
Stage 2.
So I had a day 2. No, I crashed on stage 1. And oh my gosh, at that point I was so like, I almost cried.
Yeah.
Well, I probably did cry.
Yeah. Do you feel like you didn't really get a chance then to really take in the Olympic experience at all?
No, I'd say, like, I wouldn't have gone back and changed that, I think, because racing my first Tour de France Femme and getting a top 10 on stage 2, that was really cool too. But for sure, I didn't feel like I was at the Olympics for most of that. Like, the racing the Omnium and coming really close to a medal in that was kind of the most Olympic feeling I got throughout that week. But being in a hotel, same venue we'd raced multiple times at World Championships and track league. So like the whole setup of everything felt very similar to every other race we had done.
Yeah.
I would say, having my entire family there. So like, and extended family, that made it feel like the Olympics. And then the Omnium did, but no opening ceremonies, no closing ceremonies. I saw the village for 1 hour. So hopefully LA, I get to see a bit more.
Yeah. I think a lot of people forget that athletes, like, you know, when we say, oh, like you went to Australia, blah, blah. But I think in Australia, you obviously got a bit more time, but you barely see any of the rest of the country or whatever. It's literally in your hotel, train, back, rest. And it is such a savage life, which is why at the end, everyone needs that off season. Am I right?
Oh,
For you,
yeah. Oh, yeah. Or just go to be able to go on holiday and actually see things and choose to see things. Because I feel, especially with the track, you see the indoor of the velodrome, inside of the velodrome and the hotel. And that's pretty much it. And that's quite sad going to like, I mean, once I went to Russia and I was like, oh, cool. First and maybe last time I go to Russia, but like, I saw the inside of the hotel and the inside of the track.
Talk to us a bit about when obviously you're a sprinter, and honestly, when I watch sprint finishes on the telly, it stresses me out. Like, let alone being obviously one of the key players in the sprint. How do you like compose yourself before all the hectiness going, like that stage 2 on the Tour de Femme, come into that final? Because some of it's so unpredictable what's going to happen, right? But yeah, how do you control your emotions with it all?
I'd say as soon as it's like hectic and there's lots happening, I almost lock in and get that like adrenaline and kind of into that flow state, tunnel vision a bit more. It's the lull before that where you're like, oh my God, I know it's about to get hard. I know it's about to get chaotic. Yeah, you're just waiting and anticipating that like run into the final. But yeah, it's almost easier once it gets hard. It's like the moments before a race too. Like, exactly. As soon as that gun goes off, you're like, oh, okay, okay, I just do what I do.
Yeah. But obviously having your teammates as well is like so key. Just, do you get much time to actually practice your lead out trains and stuff?
You can try, and you do try in camps, but it's really, really hard to replicate an actual bunch finish and just the chaos that comes up. Like, you can practice a perfect lead out so many times when it's just your team, but that doesn't really do a finish justice or actually teach anybody much. So like opportunities like UAE, that was really, really good for us as a team. And each night we just sat down and we reviewed the finish over and over and over and talked about all the situations and when we should have communicated, when we should have moved. And just went over it, which I found really, really helpful. So using like early season races like that, or really any race during the year, but especially early season and chaotic finishes like UAE, can be really helpful to just kind of set the team up for being able to execute a finish. Because I feel in the women's sprint finishes, it's changing. You're seeing more teams able to have a lead out train and it become a bit more organized, but that's still not the reality. Like there's maybe 1 or 2 teams that actually are able to execute that. And then the rest of it is like sprinters with 1 or 2 riders helping them.
1 or 2.
Yeah, 1s and 2s. So you just kind of got to figure out what works with your team and where you can use everybody.
Yeah. Is everyone's like team chat is like, how do we get Lorena today?
Pretty much it.
She's mad.
Pretty much it. And I actually feel like UAE, I mean, obviously she was still super dominant, but I feel like we're getting closer.
For sure. Like, everyone is.
Sure. Yeah. Their lead out wasn't quite as dialed on each day. Lara was getting really close to her the last day.
Yeah.
Like
super duper close. Like
Yeah. So it's coming.
That's awesome. Yeah. There's amazing. Some incredible sprinters in the field right now and just incredible female athletes coming up. Maggie, I remember when I first started racing the US Pro Crit Peloton in series, the Crit series, I remember you were still racing DNA and you were like my idolized sprinter. I'm like, how do I be like Maggie? And it's been so cool watching you and even like your old teammate Sarah, who's now on Visma Lisa bike, racing so well at the world tour level. It's so cool to see kind of, it's maybe not necessarily a pipeline, but like you two in particular coming from DNA and racing primarily a North American circuit to racing the world tour and getting incredible top 5 podium results. It's been awesome, but I feel like the sprinters really are, there's so many right now. And the just like whole dynamic of women's racing is changing. I know Danny, Grace, and I have talked a lot about how excited we are to watch the classics this season and just the whole women's world tour peloton. Do you kind of feel that energy too? Do you feel like some things have shifted a bit and that there's just generally more momentum with women's racing right now, especially in Europe?
Yeah, for sure. I think a lot of shuffling of riders has created a bit more balance in teams. And so there's a kind of this lull right now of like who's the strongest team, who has to work,
take it.
and kind of like just this standoff I'm noticing in races. Of like who's taking that initiative, who has to pull. So I'm sure in the classics we're gonna figure that out. That's gonna become really clear, and who the strongest teams are. But yeah, it's definitely changed. It's not just gonna be like one team dominating. I think we're gonna see a lot more variety, and hopefully teams try. Like you said, there's lots of sprinters right now, but Lorena always wins. So hopefully a lot of more teams trying some different tactics and just trying to mix it up a bit more. But I definitely see each year the Peloton gets so much faster. Races get so much harder. Like you can't show up to a race sick or injured and just fake it and get around like you could even a couple of years ago. Like you just can't do that. You have to be, everyone has to be riding so well at every race, pretty much to be able to get around and just survive. So yeah, the level has gone up significantly over the years.
Yeah. And I know obviously you've had an absolute standout year already, but I think obviously it's something that you've highlighted on your Instagram about what you went through last year and your recovery from your iliac artery surgery. Is that how you say it? Have I said
iliac
it right?
Artery. Yeah.
I think that, it's a good thing to talk about because you've seen Isabit, who obviously suffered that and his cycling career's over. So can you talk us a little bit about when it first came up about the problem you had and obviously that you had to have this huge surgery and everything?
Yeah, so it was pretty much a year ago now that I started, like opening weekend last year, that I started noticing some issues. And really, if I think back, I probably had prior symptoms like leading into the Olympics, but I brushed it off as little muscle things that are little like overdoing it in standing starts or something like that. So I probably did have symptoms I was dealing with before, but it became really obvious last year on opening weekend. And my first kind of symptoms were I just couldn't keep up. Like I was just getting dropped and it didn't really make sense why that was happening. And I would say my process to diagnosis was pretty quick. Like immediately I checked on my blood work, because it shares really similar symptoms as if you had maybe mono or long COVID and maybe you're just lacking that energy.
That's so
like,
interesting.
Yeah, a lot of people I think they have that. Especially if they don't have telltale symptoms like cramping or numb legs, especially if it's just this power loss and just this like can't keep up feeling. So yeah, usually so I checked blood work, checked bike fit. We took an easy week. We did a bigger training block and nothing really changed. Like just all the sensations stayed the same in the races. And so maybe about mid-March or mid-April last year, I went to my coach and I was like, hey, I've heard this was pretty soon after Sarah Gigante's surgery and recovery. And I was like, well, I know this is kind of a trending diagnosis right now, but am I crazy to want to get it tested and just rule it out? And he goes, nope, let's do that. So gave me a clinic in the Netherlands, kind of the gold standard clinic to go to. And I went and got the testing and the results came back yes, there's flow limitation on both legs. But they wanted me to try a conservative treatment method first. And from my own research, I hadn't found any success of conservative treatment methods for iliac artery when it was that significant of a restriction. But I think part of the issue was it presents in so many different ways. So when you look at scans, some people have a kink in their artery, and that's really obvious. Like, yes, we got to go in and fix that. There can be narrowing, and then there could also have fibrosis inside the artery, which is causing the narrowing.
Wow.
So like built up tissue inside. So that was my main problem on kind of my worst leg. I had it on both sides, but on my worst leg, it was this build up on the inside of the artery, which you can't really tell until you've gone in and operated on that surgically. Like you can't tell the extent of it.
Oh, wow. What is the testing they got you to do? Sorry.
Yeah, so their protocol is pretty, like they have a really standard good protocol that they do for testing. So they do an ultrasound, a duplex ultrasound. So they listen to your blood flow with it, and they do it with your legs extended and flexed. And you do a bike test with blood pressure cuffs on your ankles and an MRI with contrast. So they get the imagery from that. So they have the three. And where I went, they just do all the tests in one day and then analyze it, get the results. But yeah, because they couldn't really tell with that artery with fibrosis on the inside how severe it was, they put me on this low blood pressure medication, which just seemed weird to me.
Yeah.
Because I'm an athlete. I already have pretty low blood pressure.
Yeah.
And had me go through 3 months of physio. Yeah. So I didn't feel great about this solution, but I played the game. I didn't really have another option. So and I also feel the way they went about it really like made what I was going through seem less significant.
Yeah.
Like, to anybody I was talking to about this, they're like, oh, you're treating it conservatively. Like it must not be that bad, you know?
Right.
If someone says you need surgery, then like to your team, to everybody, they're like, okay, this is bad. But if someone's like, well, let's try this for 3 months.
That's frustrating.
Right.
Yeah. So this is where I really learned, like, no one's going to care about your health as much as you care about it.
For sure.
And if you don't feel good with how like medical professionals are treating it or how seriously they're taking you, like you really have to find other options or advocate for yourself.
But also I think sometimes people don't think about it. When they say to you, this is 3 months, that's 3 months of your career to potentially be affected as well, you know? And that's so frustrating.
Yeah. And that is like, that's 3 months in kind of the middle of your season. And like, luckily I wasn't on contract year, so I was still having the support of my team and all this. But I just like, my heart breaks for any athlete who experiences that potentially on contract year, lose their contract, and that's their career done.
Yeah.
Like, it's just like, I was lucky with my timing, I would say. But I just think back to the past of how many people probably didn't get answers and just thought that was it, that they couldn't hack it anymore in the race.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And just kind of hung it up. But I did end up getting a second opinion and like reaching out and finding more surgeons to talk to about it, because I just didn't like the way this other clinic was dealing with my case. And to another surgeon, it was like very clear, yes, we need to go in and operate on both sides immediately.
That's crazy.
And what a difference too.
That's such a difference. Yeah. And he basically called me, and this was like a Thursday, and he's like, can you come Tuesday and we'll do the operation?
Did they do different testing, or did you just give them all the results of your last procedures? And they were like,
I had a consult, a phone consult with him, and I knew of other athletes who had like great results from his surgery. So, and then my physio who was overseeing my case, she had a chat with him. And so like I didn't just say, hey, okay, cool, you're another surgeon and you want to do the surgery, let's do it. I definitely did a lot of research, had multiple people talk to him, had a physio, a friend who's doing his PhD in this, talk to him.
Wow.
Like I'd kind of found a good group of people around me to help make decisions, because these kinds of decisions are really scary and difficult to make yourself. But so I was like, yeah,
How many
let's do it.
How many people have you had, or like, have you had cyclists reach out to you since your surgery and inquired about this and have been like, hey, like, I feel like this might be something I may have. What did you do? How did you go about it? Or do you feel like just bringing light to this situation and your diagnosis, more people are realizing that this might be something that they're also combating?
For sure. I think just like Sarah Gigante posted about it, and I was like, hey, I should get this testing. This might be the issue I'm having. That this is definitely the same since I started posting about it. For a while, I was having almost a person a day reach out on Instagram, everywhere from like amateur cyclist to professional, being like, these are my symptoms. This is how the doctors are treating it or not treating it. Where did you get your diagnosis? What surgeon? Like all the questions. And so that's kind of why I kept posting about it, because there's so many. I mean, it's in such a niche group, like professional cyclists and iliac artery is such a niche group of people. So there's not that much research or information out on it. And once you start going down that rabbit hole of research, you're just like, it's the same thing, the same articles, the same studies. Like you don't get many more answers, or the same people writing about it. So I was like, hey, from all the research I did, from all the professionals I talked to, how can I help and just at least share more information or make myself a source that someone can come chat with me about what I learned and try to pass that on, because you just kind of feel alone in it and difficult to find the right people to talk to.
Yeah, so important, because I think that's the other problem. I mean, I've said this a few times, I think, but elite athletes, we do just get on with things. Like you crash in a race, you get up, your initial thought is get up, go. It's not get up, check yourself. And like we just push our bodies, and that's what so many people out there have probably been doing, like yourself, even at Paris Olympics, pushing through the pain when actually there was a severe problem. So I think it's great that it's been a real educational piece that you've been doing, showcasing your rehab and stuff. But how long, talk us through like the rehab journey and like from post-surgery and even walking and everything. Because it's a big surgery, right?
It is a big surgery. But the rehab actually went really, really quickly. And as soon as I was like hooked up to the IV and ready to go in for the operation, everything was so much easier than the 3 months I did before that. So it was like I could just take a deep breath. But they did the operation in like 3 hours, 3-hour operation. And then it was quite long, I guess. And then I was 2 nights in hospital. But the next day I was up walking already. And then, discharged on day 2 post-op, I was discharged. And the surgeon basically went, okay, you can go back to your Airbnb, go walk around, just no more than 10 kilometers a day. 10 kilometers a day.
We're cyclists, we don't walk.
I know.
I'm like, 10 kilometers, what? And I was walking so slow at that point. So I was like, it's going to take her 5 hours. How long would it take to 10K?
10 kilometers.
So it was a build-up process, but I think by day 5 or 6 post-op, I was walking 10K a day. So it came back really quickly. It was one of those like recoveries, and I don't know if I'm just lucky or if this is standard, but every day after the operation, like something was better. I was moving faster. I was able to stretch more. I was walking further. Even once, so I was back on the bike like 4.5 weeks after the operation. Because of the way my surgeon, it was a slightly less invasive protocol, like surgical protocol he did. So it made my recovery smoother, and he is a little bit more aggressive on the return to play. So I was back on the bike a little bit quicker than some of the other protocols you might hear about. But so 4.5 weeks back on the bike. I did like half an hour, I think the first day at like 90 watts. Joe pushed me up hills. I had no strength, but then just like the walking every day, it just got easier and easier and easier. So I think I did 3 or 4 rides the first week. And then by like 8 or 9 weeks after the post-op, I was back to like normal endurance training and just kind of adding on that and racing at 3 months.
Were you having to
That's
do
really
like
quick.
that is crazy. But were you having to do extra exercises in the gym or anything to, I don't know, strengthen your artery? No, I'm not strengthen. But
No,
do you know what I mean? Just
well,
to help improve
I do
it.
know what you mean. I think
The
the
flow.
biggest, yeah, the biggest thing was making sure, because it's such a big operation on your abdomen, so making sure the scar tissue formation doesn't like impact muscles or artery or whatever. So much mobility, and I started getting physio once I was back here, which is I think week 4, like a month after the operation, week 3 or 4 after the operation. So physio a few times a week. And through physio, we started doing like some exercises, but the mobility was the crucial part. And from basically my discharge, he was like, okay, figure 4, like the yoga pose and lunges and all of this, multiple times a day. And kind of the more you move, the better. You don't want to be sitting too long for like the inflammation and all the scar tissue formation. And so, yeah, kind of through the rehab, it was like lots of physio, lots of mobility. And then I moved into the gym probably, like, I guess lifting is the thing they want to be careful with, because you don't want to get a hernia. You don't want to put pressure on the artery in that way. Like blood flow pressure is okay, but you don't want to like brace yourself.
Yeah.
So they want to be really careful with lifting, but I was able to start bringing that back, I think a month after the operation, slowly. And then, yeah, I just got lots of, I had my appendix out years ago, so I had really bad issues. Yeah.
Mine
with scar tissue. Yeah, mine too.
Gosh.
It was horrible.
It's awful,
Guys.
isn't it? Honestly, anyone who goes through that, it was, I was just,
That's
how old was
scary.
I? Sorry, totally digest it, but I was
it
playing
was
with
so
a sparkler. Like outside, it was like 5th of November or something. I was just like messing around with my friends. And then all of a sudden I bent over, couldn't stand up again. And like next minute I'm in hospital having an operation.
Oh, you remember when it burst? That's crazy.
Yeah,
they
awful.
misdiagnosed me for a week and kept sending me home with the flu after it had burst.
No. Wait, that's so
I lost
dangerous.
like 30 pounds in a week. It was horrible. I was almost septic. Like, if you can get your appendix out, get your appendix out.
Yeah, you don't even need it. Like, why have we got that thing?
Exactly.
Oh, wow.
And it can kill you. Like, if it does.
It's an evil little organ.
It is awful.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Jesus.
But anyway, like the scar tissue from that, I don't know if you had issues with that, but I had like quite severe, like I had a partial bowel obstruction after that surgery.
Oh my God.
So I had a lot of trauma from
I bet.
scar tissue formation. So, but I think in general, those are good practices to get into, like just getting some abdomen massage. And there's this device called an Indiba, which uses like radio frequency to break up scar tissue, which is recommended post-surgery.
Oh, wow.
So I think there's all these things people can start looking into that are like really good to do, especially because it's,
For sure. When you first got on the bike, back on the bike then, was it an instant notice like in your legs or like energy or kind of all of it, really? Was it?
No, I felt pretty shit the first time back on the bike.
Yeah, fair. That's so fair.
Even the first multiple weeks, I felt pretty horrible. But like the first thing I noticed from the surgery was when I was lying in the hospital bed after the operation, my feet were warm, and I didn't realize how cold my feet had been.
Wow.
Until I was like, oh my gosh, they're warm. I can like feel my toes properly.
Yeah.
Blood flow. Like,
that's crazy.
You just got so used to it, I guess. But then I did still have symptoms for 3 months, I would say 4 months after the operation, which is totally normal. And the hardest part is trying to ignore that.
Yeah.
Because you've just spent
mental battle
so long. Oh my gosh. Yeah. You've just spent so long analyzing every single sensation in your legs. And now they're like, this is normal. Ignore it.
Oh,
like,
no.
Great.
Yeah, that's
awesome.
Horrible. Wow.
But yeah.
And then you managed to get back to do the final race of the season, was it last year?
Mm-hmm.
Or was it? Yeah. And what was that like for you? Did you kind of want to finish with a race last year?
I wasn't sure if I would be back in time to race China. It was kind of the team needed another rider to go, and 3 months was at that point of like, it's not unsafe to race. I'd had pretty much only endurance training at that point. Like, I'd done no race intensity at all. So it was kind of you're going to go, you'll help. Luckily, China's really flat and actually quite an easy race to get around. So it was more of a, you'll go, we'll support as much as you can. We understand you haven't really done much effort in training at all. But then I surprised myself in the one day. So the stage race was just like a shock to the system with the race and race efforts. Like, oh my gosh, I haven't done this in 3 months. So that felt crazy. But then like on the one day in Guangxi, like the very, very last race of the season, there was a pretty hard climb in it, like a short, punchy climb in it. But I was like with the group, able to push, and I was like, okay, there's potential here. Like, I obviously don't feel amazing, but there's like, I can work with this. I can build from here. So that was exciting. For sure.
That's so cool. And I think, obviously you mentioned, like, thank God I wasn't on contract year. And I think that kind of says everything about the World Tour and how competitive it is now. Like, even though what you'd proved at the Olympics, what you'd done at the Tour de Femme the year before, do you really think that if you were on contract year, there was a potential, like, was that something that always went through your mind, that it's so competitive and savage that you could lose your job, I suppose, when it's not your fault?
For sure. I had so many friends last year have to retire because they weren't able to get another contract. So yeah, I do think about that. Like, I didn't have a great season. I mean, it wasn't horrible, but considering my injury and considering I was out for 3 months and not
you're
racing
going
for
through
the
all the
second half
scenarios too. Like your head's just going through everything. Like, what could have been better?
And honestly, I sat down with my sports psych through my rehab, and I was like, okay, I have to chat about the other situation. Like, what if I can't come back from this? What are my other options? Like, I want to start prepping for this because I've seen athletes be forced to retire and just absolutely spiral and kind of lose themselves in that. So
God, that's crazy.
It's crazy. And you don't want to go out that way, and you don't want it to not be on your own terms.
Right.
No.
But I think, like I mentioned, since I was young, I've always had like the backup plan, just because I never foresaw a career in cycling when I was younger, because it just wasn't the reality. So through this too, I was like, okay, what would be my backup plan? I want to start making that like plan in my head to just in case, just in case.
Yeah, and like you've had your fair share of ups and downs too, with teams folding and going through the mental battles and fortitude of that too. So you're no stranger to that.
No, but this was kind of I feel like through that, I always had a decent enough year to back myself to be able to get another contract. Through this, when you actually like don't really live up to your expectation in any races, it's really, really difficult. And when the World Tour is so competitive right now, and when you know so many people who aren't able to find another contract, like, it just became kind of scarier and closer to reality than I'd felt before. But it's amazing what can change in like a couple of months. So there's also
let's talk about that.
Yes.
Yes.
Perfect.
So obviously you went out to Australia, Tour Down Under, and then the crit race was cancelled, wasn't it? But they still had the Cadell, no, not crit race, the Cadell road race. Were you going to do that one?
Yes, because they had because we just had had TDU, the stage race, and then
then you're
down in sorry, you're right. Yes, we're supposed to have another one day down there, but they put the crit instead because of the fires.
Okay.
The one day, the Point Pro is cancelled.
So how obviously we won the one day race, which was actually insane. It was so cool to watch. Was like when you crossed, let's talk about that first. When you crossed that line, did you just like, was it a sign of relief for you as well? Like, Or what was the emotions during that race for you?
Yeah. I don't know what the emotions were. It's probably more disbelief than relief. A bit of relief for sure. I was so high on adrenaline at that point. I'd crashed with like 12K to go and then managed to come back to the bunch, and they were trying to stretch out in the crosswind. Like there was no time to think in that race. I think everybody thought that the whole Peloton was going to be more tired after Tour Down Under 2 days before, and that was absolutely not the case. So it was raced like a crit, and I mean that's my bread and butter. That's what I grew up doing. So I was like in my happy place the whole time, and then even after I crashed, I was like, okay, let's go. Like the adrenaline's going now. Let's get this done. And then, like I'd said earlier, I was just kind of in flow state as we were heading into the finish. But yeah, the disbelief when I opened up my sprint and no wheels were coming past me, like in my periphery. It's so wild when you haven't won a race in a long time, and it's like you're so used to wheels coming around you. Yeah. And you're like, it's not happening. Oh my gosh, it's not happening. You're like, what is happening?
That is so cool.
Yeah. So it was really, really cool. And it's like, it finally felt like I was starting to live up to kind of what I've always imagined I could do and believed I could do. And I know I have great tactical sense in a race, but just having the legs to be able to back that up was exciting.
You don't have to say numbers wise, but numbers wise, were you back where you were like before, like when you felt good on the bike before the surgery and stuff?
Yeah, I'd say through like the past month, I have started doing like numbers I haven't been able to do in over 2 years.
That's amazing.
So like after TDU, I went out and did like a max 5 minute, and I hadn't done that power in over 2 years. So
that's so
and hopefully it's just going to keep building from there, because I'm still kind of in the rehab time frame. So it's a lot of like motivation to build on from, I'd say.
How did you find coping riding in the heat and stuff? Or did you because you guys are sponsored by Core, is it?
Yeah.
Doing all the heat training.
Yeah, so I've done a lot of heat training, and one of the stages of TDU, plus I think one of our training days before that, had been like 45 degrees or close to 50. Yeah. So that one day didn't actually feel that bad. I don't remember being that hot that day. Nice. I remember TDU, those stages being really, really hot. But yeah, exactly. I kind of thanked the heat training at that point. I think it works.
Yeah. How much of it were you doing in the lead up to TDU?
I did 3 weeks. 3 weeks of heat training, 4 days a week.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
4 days a week.
So 4 days a week. Like there were 50-minute sessions after the training ride.
It's actually the worst. I don't know about you, but I hate it.
I really don't like heat training in a sauna. I actually didn't mind being on the bike. Heat training in a sauna, I just end up like plastered against the door, staring at my phone on the outside, like looking at the timer. Like I'm actually gonna die in here. But in the suit, I don't know. Put something on Netflix. Time go by. Didn't hate it that much.
So obviously now you got that win under your belt, and you got a fourth at UAE as well, right? So what have you got coming up next? What's on the calendar?
So I have Newsblad and La Semaine, and then I do opening weekend, which is exciting. Yeah. And then I'm pretty much in Belgium all of March, April. So
nice. Classic season.
Classic season. I mean, this is what excites me. Like Ghent, Flanders, Roubaix, all these classics, 5 degrees, rainy, like, that fires me up.
To be fair, Vancouver's a bit like the UK. It has a lot of rain, doesn't it?
A lot of rain.
You thrive in that weather.
Yeah.
Belgium, for races. UK, Vancouver, all the same.
all the same latitude of rain.
Have you got like a personal goal in mind for those races, or are you like a work for the team, or will you be like the GC rider, or you don't really know yet? I suppose.
I think I might have some opportunities. I'm not sure of all the rules yet for the race, but I really do hope to have some opportunities. Like Ghent Wevelgem, I guess it's called in Flanders Fields now.
Yeah.
Has always been a really big goal of mine, and I've always done pretty well there. So like a podium there would be a dream. And so I'd say like on a personal note, that would be kind of a target.
So cool. And then
That'd be a good race for you. That'd be a really good race for you. I feel like that suits you well.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Is it the Tour de Femme in 27 starting in the UK, or is it this year?
I think it's 27.
Tour de Femme 27.
This year is
I didn't know that.
Year's Switzerland.
So Maggie's boyfriend is he's an amazing road rider as well, but he's in the gravel scene, and he's a very good controversial writer, Joe Laverick. Will he, obviously if it starts in the UK, I don't think it doesn't start too far from him. I might have got this totally wrong.
I'd have to look into that. But I'm hoping to race Tour of Britain this year. So that would be...
Oh, there you go.
Sweet, there you go.
And then him and hopefully his family can come watch. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
That would be cool. Yeah. So Joe he's hilarious. Maggie can relate that like they've got opening weekend on the road scene. We've basically had opening weekend of gravel here in La Santa Vai. And it always reminds me of Joe because Joe 2 years ago did the ride of his life up a hill climb. Were you watching him? Were you there?
Yeah. He went second, I think.
Yeah, was it second or did he win it?
Oh, he might have won it.
I think he won it. He just
he
put
might have
all
won
these,
it.
He put all these world tour riders in the bin, and it was so funny. But it was a good job he missed out this weekend because it was just something else.
I'm loving the videos slowly coming in of the mud fest.
It looks crazy. Joe's trying to. He starts the season in March, so he's trying to be patient building into the year. Yes. He's really good at being really good in February, but you don't necessarily need to be really good in February. So, March, April. No, he starts his block.
What's it like for you? Obviously, being on the world tour and then seeing like this privateer life and how it goes. What's your opinion of it all?
I think it's a lot of booking flights and accommodation, managing yourself. It makes me really grateful for having a coordinator person on the team who just books and sends me my tickets and tells me where to be. I have a lot of respect for that side of it. I think, some people I could see it fitting really well because teams can be really hard to work with. I mean, I'm lucky to have a great team that supports me really well, but some teams are really, really difficult to work with and you don't get to have much individuality within it. I can see definitely that's quite cool to be able to choose your sponsors a bit more and just be able to, be more of a person, I'd say, and have some of that. And I think for someone like Joe, that suits him really well. And he's doing a really good job. And you too, of like building your brand within that.
Yeah. Do you think you'll try? Have you tried a gravel race? I think it'd be great because the classics.
I don't know. Gravel hasn't called to me yet.
You're like, just let me get through this world tour stuff.
Let me get through this. Maybe some of the shorter stuff. I have no interest in like the Unbound. 10 hours, whatever. Like zero interest in that.
That's so funny. But obviously, another big goal will be LA. You said, yeah. So when do you have to? I am, as you know more about track than me, but how does like the qualification process work for that?
It's a process.
That's going. It's a process.
Oh, really?
And it's always very confusing and it changes all the time. So this year's World Championships for track will be the first one that counts. And so the biggest thing is we need to qualify as a nation.
Right.
which will mean riders will have to do well at World Cups. And there's different tiers of races, like there's C1s, C2s, and there's Pan American Championship. So we basically need to make sure we have results in all of that to be able to qualify for the World Championships to start our qualification for the Olympics.
The Olympics.
Yeah.
Do you have a team at Pan Am's this week, I'm assuming, then?
Yes, we do have a team down in Pan Am's, and I think pretty much all the World Cups will have riders. Unfortunately, I don't have enough points to do World Cups, so I also would need to have qualified for World Cups. But given my surgery and everything, I was not able to get enough points. So I'm hoping World Championships this year.
Wait, so if we qualify as a nation? Sorry, so you qualify as the team qualifies, then you have to qualify as a rider to then be put in this chance of being selected.
So you need to qualify as a rider to do World Cups to help, if you want to help Canada or to help the nation qualify for World Championships, which qualifies for the Olympics.
Stop. Oh, wow. Maggie, like I said, you could be subbed in. Like you'd essentially you basically have these people competing for points to get your nation represented, and then you can be put in that lineup for.
So you could help qualify the nation and then not ride at the Olympics.
Correct.
Oh, that's savage.
Yeah.
Especially when you have World Tour racers, right, who compete on the track too. So like Chloe Dygert for the USA, like very rarely is she, back racing track for Pan Am's and stuff like that. But she'll be at the Olympics, of course. So
that's crazy.
Yeah.
Wow.
Quite a thing.
When will you start ramping up your track racing and training with the team for the LA Olympics?
So I'll try to help Canada qualify for Worlds this year with doing C1s. So I don't need points to be able to do those races. I'll do Ghent International Track Meeting after Roubaix this year. So that'll be my first kind of track race. So literally going back and forth, but luckily all in Belgium. So I'll just stay. My dad will come over, have a nice little holiday in Ghent and then race the track. And then maybe Commonwealth Games this year and then maybe World. So I'll start to kind of get back in the mix this year. And then next year, hopefully have the points to do a World Cup or two. And then, same the year after. And then the Olympics.
Oh, wow. Well, I think we will wish you luck with everything you've got coming this year. And we're excited. Like, honestly, seeing you at the start of this year, that was so awesome to see. And thanks. Keep educating people because I think it's really important what you've gone through, sharing it. And see you on the road. Sorry about the drilling.
I'll see you around.
Thanks, Maggie.
Thanks for having me.